King Von. In the heart of Chicago's most dangerous streets, King Von built a legendary but violent legacy. Then, on November 6, 2020, bullets ended his life at just 26 years old, leaving behind a young son who barely knew him. Today, Davon Bennett Jr., now 7 years old, is growing up without his father. But this is not just another fatherless story from the hood. This is a story soaked in blood, gang wars, generational trauma, and a child who carries the face of a dead legend. King Von was O'Block's deadliest voice, a feared member of the Black Disciples who turned street pain into drill anthems that shook the world. His beefs with rival gangs like STL and EBT were deadly. His music was raw, unapologetic, and often prophetic. Now, his son is living with the consequences of that life. Queen Kima, Von's baby mother, has built a protective wall around their child. She refuses to let any man from Chicago near her son. She keeps him far from the streets that took his father. Yet the resemblance is undeniable. Same eyes, same smile, same energy. The boy wears number 64 on his football jersey in honor of his dad. He refuses to dress as King Von for Halloween, saying, "Why do I want to be myself?" How does a child carry the weight of a father he barely remembers? What happens when the streets try to claim the next generation? Will Davon Jr. escape the cycle that destroyed his father, or is history already repeating itself? To understand the full pain behind this story, we must go back to the violent streets of O'Block, the jail cells where Von became a different man, and the quiet home where a son is growing up without his father. King Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett on August 9, 1994, grew up deep in the heart of Chicago's South Side, Parkway Gardens, famously known as O'Block. This area was ground zero for one of the most brutal gang wars in modern Chicago history. As a member of the Black Disciples, O'Block faction, Von was immersed in a world of constant violence, retaliation, and survival. He lost friends, family members, and pieces of himself before he even turned 20. His own father was mostly absent, in and out of prison, creating the same generational wound he would later pass on. Von's music became his outlet. Tracks like Crazy Story, Took Her to the O, and Grandson painted vivid pictures of the pain, loyalty, and destruction happening in his neighborhood. He wasn't just rapping about it, he was living it. The O'Block versus STL/EBT, Gangster Disciples, beef was particularly deadly. Bodies dropped regularly. Diss tracks fueled real-life shootings. Von became one of the most feared and respected voices in drill music precisely because his words carried the weight of the streets. But that same lifestyle would eventually cost him everything. On November 6, 2020, in Atlanta, King Von was gunned down in a parking lot outside a hookah lounge. The shooting was linked back to the ongoing Chicago gang tensions. At just 26, he was gone, leaving behind a newborn son, Davon Bennett Jr., who was only 14 months old at the time. Now, 7 years later, that little boy is growing up in a completely different world, carefully shielded by his mother Queen Kima. But no matter how far she tries to run from Chicago, the shadow of King Von follows him everywhere. Davon Jr. looks like a carbon copy of his father. The same intense eyes. The same smile that could light up a room or hide deep pain. On social media, fans constantly flood his posts with comments like he's Von all over again. His mother shares moments of him playing football wearing jersey number 64, Von's number. Every milestone becomes both celebration and painful reminder. Queen Kima has been brutally honest about her approach. She has openly said that her son has never been around any man she has dated. She doesn't want him forming attachments only to lose them. She avoids relationships with men from Chicago because they all know Von. She is raising him with strong boundaries while pursuing her own master's degree. Her mission is clear: break the cycle at all costs. But breaking the cycle is never easy when your father is a legend. The boy already shows signs of emotional awareness far beyond his age. During Halloween 2025, when asked to dress as his father, he calmly replied, "Why do I want to be myself?" That single sentence hit millions like a gut punch. Another time, he told his mother he doesn't like listening to his dad's music because it makes him too sad. These moments reveal a child who is already processing heavy grief and identity issues. Meanwhile, the streets have not forgotten. O'Block still claims King Von as one of their own. His music continues to influence new generations of drill artists. His death did not end the beefs. If anything, it added fuel to old rivalries. In this environment, the question lingers: can a child escape the pull of the same streets that defined and destroyed his father? As rumors grow about the Last King of Chicago movie and the possibility of Dave Vaughn Jr. playing the young version of his father, the pressure only increases. 50 Cent is reportedly involved, but Vaughn's mother, Taysha Mama Vaughn, has expressed deep discomfort. She wants her grandson protected from turning into Hollywood entertainment. This is the painful reality. King Von's son is growing up without him, but he can never truly escape him. The face, the name, the legacy, everything follows. The real emotional weight is only beginning. What is life like inside Queen Kima's home? How is she fighting to protect her son from the same fate? And what happens when the streets eventually come knocking on their door? Queen Kima lives every single day with the heavy burden of raising a boy who carries one of the most recognizable faces in modern drill history. She has built a fortress around Dave Vaughn Jr., moving him away from Chicago's South Side to create distance from the violence that claimed his father. But no matter how many miles she puts between them and O'Block, the shadow refuses to disappear. In private conversations and subtle social media posts, Kima has revealed the emotional toll this takes. She admits to sleepless nights worrying about her son's future. Every time Dave Vaughn Jr. asks questions about his father, "Mommy, why did they shoot him?" her heart breaks all over again. She tries to balance truth with protection, telling him stories of his father's talent and ambition while carefully avoiding the graphic details of gang violence and deadly beefs. The gang reality makes everything more dangerous. King Von was deeply embedded in O'Block, a faction of the Black Disciples. His music constantly referenced the deadly war against rival gangster disciples sets like STL and EBT. Even after his death, those tensions did not die. New drill artists continue to throw shots, old enemies still lurk, and Vaughn's name remains a symbol in the streets. This creates constant anxiety for Kima, the fear that one day someone from that world might try to get close to her son, either to exploit him or settle old scores. Dave Vaughn Jr. is already showing signs of his father's charisma and intensity. On the football field, he wears jersey number 64 with pride. He moves with natural confidence that reminds everyone of Vaughn. But behind the cute videos and luxury outfits his mother posts, there is a quiet sadness. He has told his mother he doesn't like playing his father's music because it makes me cry. At just 7 years old, he is already carrying generational grief that most adults couldn't handle. Queen Kima's boundaries are strict and non-negotiable. She has publicly stated that her son has never been around any man she has dated. She refuses to bring random relationships into his life, fearing attachment and eventual abandonment. She avoids Chicago men entirely, knowing their connections to Vaughn's past could open doors she wants to keep closed. While pursuing her master's degree, she balances motherhood, education, and legacy protection, an exhausting but determined mission to break the fatherless cycle that plagued both her and Vaughn's upbringing. Meanwhile, the outside world keeps pulling the boy back into his father's shadow. Fans flood his Instagram with comments like he's the spitting image of Vaughn, future drill king, or even darker messages referencing O'Block. These comments are both loving and dangerous. Some genuinely admire the resemblance, while others see him as the next chapter in a never-ending street saga. This public pressure is something no child should have to bear. Rumors about the Last King of Chicago project have added another layer of tension. Reports suggest 50 Cent wants to cast Dave Vaughn Jr. as the young version of King Von. While this could be a massive opportunity, Mama Vaughn, Taysha Bennett, has strongly opposed it. She wants her grandson shielded from Hollywood's version of her son's violent life. The family is divided between preserving the legacy and protecting the boy's innocence. Inside their home, Kima tries to create normalcy. School runs, football practice, family dinners, and birthday celebrations. But every milestone is bittersweet. On his birthday, which falls on the same day as his father's, the pain resurfaces. Dave Vaughn Jr. is growing up surrounded by love from his mother and extended family, but the absence of his father creates a void that nothing can fully fill. This situation mirrors a painful pattern in black communities across America: the cycle of absent fathers, gang involvement, and early death. Vaughn himself grew up with his father mostly incarcerated. Now his son walks the same path. The difference is that Queen Kima is fighting with everything she has to change the ending. But the streets are patient. They wait. They watch. O'Block still claims King Von as a legend. His music continues to inspire new generations of young boys who see violence as the only way out. Will one of them eventually try to pull Davon Jr. into that world? Will the boy grow up rejecting his father's path or feel pressure to honor it? The emotional stakes keep rising as he gets older. Soon he will enter an age where identity becomes everything. He will start asking harder questions. He will see old videos of his father. He will hear the diss tracks. He will learn the full truth about the gang wars that took his dad away. Queen Kima knows this moment is coming. She is preparing, but no amount of preparation can fully protect a child born into this level of notoriety. The world wants the next King Von, whether for music, for clout, or for continuing the cycle. As we look deeper into their daily reality, the true cost of Von's lifestyle becomes painfully clear. The same streets that made him a star ultimately destroyed his chance to be a present father. Now his son must navigate life with a famous last name, a legendary face, and an invisible target that may never disappear. The biggest fear Queen Kima carries is not just the past, it's the future. As Davon Jr. grows older, the streets of Chicago have a way of reaching out, even from hundreds of miles away. O'Block still celebrates King Von as a fallen soldier. His music is played in cars, at parties, and in hoods across the country. New drill artists continue to reference him, keeping his name alive in the same violent culture that took his life. This creates a dangerous pull for any boy carrying his blood and face. Davon Jr. is already showing signs of natural talent and charisma, just like his father. On the football field, his intensity reminds people of Von's energy. But his mother is determined to channel that energy into positive outlets: sports, education, and discipline. She wants him to become a man his father would be proud of, but without repeating the same deadly mistakes. The generational trauma runs deep. King Von himself grew up without a consistent father figure. That absence fueled his pain, his anger, and eventually his involvement in the Black Disciples and O'Block lifestyle. Now the same pattern is repeating. A father lost to gang violence. A son left to carry the weight. This cycle has destroyed countless families in Chicago's South Side. Queen Kima is fighting with everything she has to break it, but the world around them keeps pushing back. Mama Von, Tasha Bennett, has also been very vocal about protecting her grandson. She has expressed strong discomfort with the last King of Chicago movie rumors, especially the idea of Davon Jr. playing the young version of his father. She doesn't want her grandson's innocence turned into Hollywood entertainment. She wants him to grow up knowing the real Davon Bennett, not just the drill legend, but the complicated human being who had love, pain, and potential. Yet the pressure keeps mounting. Fans online call Davon Jr. the future of drill, Little Von, or O'Block's Prince. Some comments are loving, while others feel predatory, as if they are waiting for him to pick up where his father left. This public obsession is both a blessing and a curse. It keeps King Von's legacy alive, but it also puts a target on a child who deserves to choose his own path. Queen Kima continues to set strong boundaries. She has said multiple times that her son has never been exposed to any man she has dated. She is extremely careful about who enters their circle. While she works toward her master's degree, she raises her son with principles of self-respect, education, and staying away from street culture. But she knows that one wrong influence, one viral moment, or one encounter with the wrong people could change everything. The emotional reality for Davon Jr. is heartbreaking. He is old enough now to understand that his father is gone forever. He sees old videos. He hears the music. He feels the absence during father-son events at school. These moments create quiet pain that his mother tries desperately to heal. Yet in some videos you can see his resilience, a young boy smiling, playing football, and living life, even while carrying a heavy legacy. This story forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about gang culture in America. The same environment that creates drill stars like King Von also creates fatherless children. The violence that gives rappers their authenticity is the same violence that destroys their families. O-Block vs STL/EBT beefs didn't end with Von's death. They continue, claiming more lives and leaving more children without fathers. King Von's son represents hope and danger at the same time. Hope that he can break the cycle. Danger that the streets will try to claim him as the next chapter. The question every true fan must ask is this: do we want another King Von, or do we want Davon Jr. to become his own man, free from the violence that took his father? As he grows up, the decisions he makes will define not just his life, but the legacy of his father. Will he choose the streets or the future his mother is fighting for? Will he embrace music or walk away from the industry that glorifies the pain that killed his dad? If this story hit you in your chest, if you felt the pain of a son growing up without his father, then speak up right now. Drop Break the Cycle or pray for JR in the comments. Let us know, do you think Davon Jr. can escape the streets that took his father, or is the pull of O-Block too strong? Share this video with every parent, every young man, and every drill fan you know. Subscribe and turn on post notifications because we will keep following Davon Jr.'s journey as he grows up in his father's massive shadow. Queen Kima is fighting alone to protect her son from the same fate. The least we can do is support her by spreading awareness. Tag someone who needs to see this. Let's start real conversations about generational trauma and gang culture. Davon Jr. deserves a chance to write his own story. Let's pray he wins.